Hello and happy holidays. You're listening to So You Think You're a Fan, of course. I am Michael, or Equinox Doodles, and I'm joined here today with Sergio, or Roxas the Hunter.
Hello, and Merry Christmas.
And Mr. Jingle Jangle himself, Matt.
Hello. Santa will ask you about me later tonight. Tell him I am in the room with you.
Yes. Unfortunately, we first need to request access to the document, Matt.
Yeah, I was about to say...
What? Why is it not letting them?
But we are unfortunately not joined today by Mr. Jake. Jake is currently doing what all good boys and girls do at this time of the year, and that is help out by going to their local hospitals and being a nurse, I think.
Alright. Try to not scroll down because there's a lot of dumb shit in this.
Yeah, I already see a bunch of text changes.
Yeah, there's a lot of major font changes.
Alright.
Wow, this is only 3,300. That's weak sauce.
We're gonna have to sadly say that Jake's will probably be a late Christmas gift this year because he's not here to make this episode work, unfortunately.
It's sad.
Yeah. So Matt, why don't you introduce your fanfiction to us?
All right. Well, I labored over it. It's a lot of love put into it, which is why there's some shit and some cum all over the walls.
Oh jeez.
It got a little messy.
Oh god, this is Dipper's Taco Bell all over again.
Yeah, it's worse than Dipper's Taco Bell. There's more Taco Bell in this.
No.
The working title and the copyright free one are different. I'm gonna go with the copyright free one because I don't want Kathleen Kennedy or George Lucas to come to my front door and special edition my ass off.
Oh yeah, when are we getting? Wait, hold on. When are we getting Palpatine Goes to Taco Bell special edition?
You mean the one where they add in a bunch of random CGI creatures in the forefront and then have an entirely random, useless scene in between?
Yeah. Is there GIFs in this?
The
Special edition better have GIFs.
I'm gonna make the entire special edition textless. It will be nothing but GIFs.
Oh no!
From Star Wars, and you'll have to describe it to the audience.
You're gonna pay somebody on Newgrounds to fucking animate this all without any context.
No, I'll pay my Lebanese visual artist $400 to make Palpatine go to a McDonald's in real life.
Alright.
Alright, the working title of this white elephant is Poontang Steers the E-Fox in Chlamydio. You will maybe learn of the true title at the end. Does anybody want to be the narrator besides me? I know that Michael called being Palpatine in this one.
Oh dang! Alright, that's fine.
Oh, I mean, you were Palpatine in the last one.
Yeah,
I thought I'd give
Michael,
your voice a break.
It's okay.
Hit me with your Palpatine so I can see if you're worthy.
What quote do you want me to use?
Call.
I don't know. Just speaking a Palpatine voice, I guess.
This is my Palpatine voice.
That's good enough.
Okay.
You just stab your throat a little more, but it'll do.
Oh
for
yeah,
now.
here, 1 second.
No, Vader. I will be the Emperor.
Yeah, that works out pretty well.
All right.
I hope you have plenty of liquid because
I
it's gonna be hard
I
on
have
your voice.
Wawa here.
I have.
It should be fine.
I shall be the narrator.
All right.
Emperor Palpatine was having a lovely day on his 23% finished Death Star 2 trademark, enjoying the sounds of Imperial interns' anguish at trying to decipher the Death Star plans.
How do we put a theme there? A Taco Bell is in the way!
Hold on.
This is wonderful. All my enemies are perishing. My interns hate me, and the Death Star 2 is almost complete. It's almost 1/4 complete. I forgot the trademark after the 2.
Palpatine chuckled to himself as he sat in his Imperial throne. Suddenly, the door to his throne room was blasted open with a fart.wav sound effect by Darth Vader, who menacingly angst-walked his way up to his master. As the door was launched outwards through the skeleton construction frame, it flew to a part of the Death Star 2 trademark, which housed the interns, flustered at the plans of the construction, and instantly blew them all out into space, leaving soft-shell tacos in their wake.
Oh, cool fat! Emperor Palpatine, there is a serious problem.
Vader said his booming voice, sounding like he was weighed down by a few extra chromosomes.
What the fuck is the matter with you? I was having a great day in here, watching the construction, listening to those interns get aneurysms.
The Ewoks are having sex!
They... What?
I said they're engaging in sexual intercourse!
I fucking heard you the first time!
Palpatine roared out with the power of the farce, blasting out construction crews that were finishing up the 25th% mark of the Death Star 2 trademark. Vader's feet grinded across the steel floor, posing to resist the farce, shaking the scaffolding and planet weapon being built around them in the process.
What should we do, Master?
Vader asked after he stopped sliding.
The only thing we can do. Get the camera. We need to sterilize those Build-A-Bear fucks and make a tutorial for the interns. And be quick about it. There's no time. Not a single parsec to spare.
Yes.
Palpatine rumbled urgently like a croaking frog, and he made a beeline for a conveniently placed chest full of Alderaanian army blades in WD-40. Vader pulled out a 1999-era home video camera from his cloak. After Palpatine finished gathering his own supplies, Vader heeded his master's words. Without wasting a single parsec, he picked up the aging Sith Lord in his strong, child-euthanizing hands.
Vader! Vader, what the fuck? It's not Tuesday. What are you?
Vader then left from the Death Star 2 trademark, plummeting towards Endor, yelling out,
"There is no time!"
on his way down. Meanwhile, down on Endor, an astoundingly gargantuan Ewok of immense girth roamed the forested landscape, seeking a mate. He grumbled and mumbled to himself as his stocky 4'20" frame waddled around the trees in pursuit of the cooch.
Oh, yeah, baby. That's right. I'm 300 pounds of pounding, ready to go for whoever wants some.
The pathetic, disgusting creature said in a slobbering, slovenly imitation of sentient speech patterns. Little children ran in terror, the men seethed in rage, and the women cried as the demon approached. They would have escaped this beast had they not been boxed in by a large energy pen, courtesy of 20 stormtroopers betting on their fates with soft-shell tacos.
Who wants to be the newcomer trooper?
Hey guys, what's sweet Jesus, what is that thing? One of the newer troops asked as he came close to the makeshift ring. We got bored of watching these things, and we found a fat one stuck in a log, so, I don't really know why this exists. I think a few of us got drunk last night and put it together. Glad we did, though, an older forest trooper said. To pass the time, you kidnapped a dozen people for an impressed race of 20 bears, and you were now watching them be tormented by a fat, slobbering, lip-smacking sexual harasser? Is he Harvey Weinstein? Several moments passed as the troopers looked at each other before they all began shrugging and muttering vague positives. You made that sound like a bad thing. I thought that was funny. Yep, of course we did. Absolutely. Yeah, I guess. Yeah, I thought it was hot. We're super fucked up. Hell yeah, we did. Yes. A few moments passed as the new judgmental stormtrooper looked at his brothers in arms. Well, fucking bet me and I got 50 credits on the fat show. Said, gaining a raucous cheer from all present. Just as they stopped celebrating the new dumbass in their morally dubious endeavor to kill time, a massive red dot appeared overhead. They all turned to look, but quickly averted their eyes from the intense brightness of the object in the sky. Seconds later, the earth itself rumbled as 600 combined pounds of Sid Badass, a wheezing old turd, collided with Tim the Pinch, the fattest Ewok who ever lives. A grand dramatic explosion of fat fur shit and flesh blasted the trapped Ewok out of the pen, as Vader and Palpatine participated in the largest biological weapon usage that region of the galaxy had ever seen. Lodged 7 feet into the ground, only Vader's arms were visible as he held aloft a gently cradled Emperor of the galactic regime. Groaning from the sudden halted of motion, Palpatine tried to stand, only to make a whistling fart noise as he flopped onto the ground face first. Simultaneously and with sublime grace, Vader lifted himself out of the ground by first T-posing to bring his head out of the ground and used the Force to lift himself out of the ground fully. This brought him into a shining example of the legendary shape of domination if you view troopers.
Vader. Why did you need to do that, Vader? We could have taken my special TIE fighter with a built-in commode.
Palpatine said, slowly and gradually raising himself from the fur, blood, and other bodily fluid-stained grass.
Master, you said there was no time. I took that to mean we must act quickly.
Vader said.
Sorry, grabbing another water.
Yeah. Fuck what I said. I barely even want to be here normally. Now I'm in pain and have to deal with those furry little...
Palpatine continued mumbling to himself, going on and on and on in gratuitous detail about how much he didn't want to be there. Meanwhile, several troopers began crawling out of their hiding spots. In the impact, 14 of the 20 troopers had perished in a rather saddening way. 8 were from rocks in the ground exploding, 5 from heart attacks, the last was from the raining remnants of Tim the Pinch's lower genitals colliding with and piercing his windpipe. Not remotely affected by the gruesome deaths they saw daily, the living troopers gathered attention for their lords. "Reporting for duty, sirs!" they chorused. Finally recovering their wits, Palpatine tried to scream with the power of the Force at them. Unfortunately, his voice failed him. He hacked and coughed, muttering curses and assorted varieties of ever-increasingly absurd font styles and sizes, not pictured here. The troopers looked on, having the air of college students watching their teacher struggle with YouTube's autoplay feature, bemused, confused, and deeply concerned. Sir, should we get some cough drops? A trooper asked. Vader watched his master cough, clearly in distress. Watched the man who had debatably ruined his life, pushed him into ending his friendship with Obi-Wan, the man who had stolen his last death
He's fine. Just let him cough it out.
Vader said, finally relaxing his T-pose. This had the unfortunate effect of releasing another wave of the Farce to undo the power of the stance, inadvertently knocking over Palpatine again and killing another 4 troopers, leaving only...
Okay, you little shits. How many troopers are still alive? Answer correctly or Count Dracula will suck your toes tonight.
Oh no, there he is! It's a picture of the fucking cow from
You don't get to scroll back up. You don't get to check. How many are still alive, you pieces of shit?
No.
2.
Well, Michael, what's your answer? Huh?
2.
Alright, you're allowed to scroll down now.
Yeah, because 6 survived, and then 4 died.
Yes.
For those of you who...
If you answered 1 to 2 troopers... Sorry.
All I'm seeing is a picture of the Count from Sesame Street, but it's fucking exposed. Like, its contrast has been bumped up to the extreme. It's kind of a nightmarish picture.
Yeah.
If you answered 1 to 2 troopers are still alive, you are correct. Congratulations. The surviving duo of troopers looked on in fear as Vader approached them menacingly. He then handed one of them a 90s-era home video camera, and the other a WD-40 and an Alderaanian army knife. Take these.
You're going to need them.
Vader said, walking back to Palpatine. The troopers looked at each other, their blank-faced helmets conveying the complexity of emotion in their hearts. Vader looked down at his Emperor, who was now on the ground with froth and spit and maybe a little bit of tongue dripping out his decrepit mouth. It was a sight Vader had never wanted to see. Nevertheless, such a pitiful and sad death was not the deserved fate of even one who had stolen the last Death Stick. Knowing that time was of the essence, Vader used Farce Yeet's trademark to yank at Ewok, who seemed to have originated from Rule 34, judging from its visual design.
Are you trying to speedrun this fiction, Sergio? You're reading really fast.
I normally, I don't know.
He's a fast reader.
Fast.
He's a power reader.
You, eye-catchingly curvy furry bait. You are needed to resuscitate this man. Who wants to be the sexy Ewok?
I ain't doing it.
I'll do it.
Okay.
What? Wait, why? The Ewok sputtered in Vader's farce hold as she unceremoniously farce yeeted into Palpatine's sternum, her bony knees colliding with his decaying lungs, causing one of them to explode, making a birthday party sound effect and gaining 100 points on the Reach multiplayer campaign scoring system. Palpatine said, as a violently erupting expulsion of non-family friendly describable fluids exited his body. He grasped an heiress's consciousness and vision returned him quickly. Suddenly he was face to face with an Ewok female laying on his chest, staring at him oddly, and the look she was giving him, could it be?
You, sweet fuck almighty Vader, it's trying to breed with me! You entertain my valuable gene seed! Get it off! Get it off!
Palpatine said with a panic while he veiled his limbs. Having more than enough of this ridiculous diversion from their primary quest, Vader used the farce to separate the two of them on the ground and set the small Ewok female flying off into the forest, a sound not unlike a cat's squeaky toy emanating from her and fading into the distance. Vader also helped Pulp Man back into his standing position.
Oh, thank the Force for you, Vader. I don't know what I would have done had that slinking Ursin harlot had her tiny way with my alluring body.
Palpatine said with a completely straight face.
Yes.
Vader looked over at the two troopers to the side who were currently refraining from chuckling, but the shaking of their helmets on the shoulders gave it away to the observant Sith.
You two, come here.
Vader shouted, ending their silliness as they speed ran to the area in front of the two Sith Lords.
We have the items, sirs, but we don't really know what to do with the knife and the WD-40.
One of the troopers said.
Oh, for the love of... give me that, you monochromatic...
I'm not saying that word.
Bruh.
So I'm not saying that word.
You'll say cum and shit.
But I'm not gonna say a slur.
We've said slurs.
Fine, I will censor it out.
Retards!
Palpatine said while taking the items away.
Palpatine again.
Palpatine.
Oh, sorry.
These are the tools that will save our entire operation. Save the Death Star 2, TM. And save my galactic empire. Trademark.
Palpatine attempted to shout, but having a pop lung made it sound more like an angry, low-pitched balloon man. Or he said we're monochromatic, we're in forest gear.
Vader, gather what remains of the E-fuck!
Palpatine commanded Vader, still pathetic sounding with his burst lung. His vision was a little blurry in his iller-than-usual state of being, but he managed to persevere through. Must have been that damn horny furry harlot's attempt to copulate with him.
You heard the Emperor. Gather the remains of the exploded Ewok.
Vader said, none of his words heard by the Emperor.
Well, sir, why the... Go ahead.
What, sir? Why the exploded one? One of the troopers asked, only for his body to suddenly be lifted in the air, and then... oh, no, sorry. Watch out, watch out, watch out! It's Randy Orton from out of nowhere with an RKO! And indeed it was true, for suddenly the Force ghost of Randy Orton grabbed the trooper and used the power of the entire Galactic Wrestling Federation, he was all of the WWE after all, and planted the Force trooper in the same hole Vader had made earlier in his landing. Face first, dignity last, the reverberating force of his sick maneuver left Palpatine face planted in the ground. Vader looked back at the final surviving trooper and approached menacingly.
I have had it with your senseless questioning of orders, even following your troops' clearly inefficient attempts at sterilizing the Ewoks in this large pan.
What? Sterilize? Never mind. Please inform me how to proceed, Lord Vader. The trooper said, clearly terrified about the shit and piss. Nodding in approval, Vader used his powers to grab the WD-40 and army knife from the dead trooper, began taking stock of what needs to be done. It was probably unnecessary to actually sterilize any more of the Ewoks into the certain state of the fat one, that Vader really had to go take a shit, but didn't want to fight the others. That did leave the Emperor's state of lower than usual functioning, though. There's no way his master could make a return flight, even with a 5-star commode installed into a TIE fighter. Thinking what to do a few moments, Vader realized the solution and immediately informed the trooper what to do. So soon, some might have called the corpse of Tim the Pinch was assembled around the fucking dying Emperor. Shortly after, the Emperor startled awake and jolted to his face, knocking the last survivor trooper to the ground.
What's going on?
The Emperor said, his voice returned to normal. Unbeknownst to him, though, the leftover head of Tim the Pinch was hanging from a stitched-together lung, hanging up from his body. At the same moment, Vader walked up from a giant tree, zipping up his pantsuit and a bit of toilet paper trailing behind him.
Ah, Master, we have done as you asked.
Never mind that, Vader. I had a vision gifted up to me by the entire Sith. In other words, I just secret Santa'd myself with the answer to the horny Ewoks.
Palpatine said as he immediately grabbed the WD-40 and Alderaanian multi-tool from the trooper who was still molding the Tim lung into his Emperor. Looking down, Palpatine saw the state of his open stomach cavity and used power that others may consider unnatural to initiate an abdominal vor ritual with the trapper, causing the hapless fool to be instantly morphed into a new belly, completing the surgery. Below is a visual aid of the trooper's final moments, and is that picture of the baby right up to the camera, like pointing its finger or something.
It's a baby about to eat a camera.
That's better. Now, Vader, gather all the Ewoks on this planet.
Palpatine said, and Vader began running towards his master and Mosin looked oddly rotoscoped like a YouTube animation. The smelly old man then grabbed onto the more properly clothed but equally smelly old man who was running by as they raced off to the Ewoks. Elsewhere on the planet, the oddly curvy and overly detailed female Ewok from earlier landed on a heap of other Ewoks who are currently playing a children's card game.
Fuck off, Thought. I almost got to Ewokodia.
A chubby and smelly Ewok said, making a re-sound as the R-34 E-Girl rolled away.
Who wants to read this one?
I play Come Up Dick. It lets me draw 2 more decks.
One screamed about 10 feet away. Fuck off, you fat bitch. That's not tournament legal. The girl Ewok stared at the failed members of her species with the same level of disappointment as a father walking on his son playing 4chan's hentai alternative board. She then decided to walk out of the Oak of Gamers. Gamers, rise up! And go warn the rest of her people about the rampaging renegade retards that were fast approaching, but she soon realized that it was much too late. Already on the horizon, she could see a darkly cloaked figure, Naruto, running towards the settlement at speed. It was Vader running along while Palpatine was dragged out the ground behind him, screaming.
Vader, fuck, ow! Oof! Bitch! Stop!
Suddenly, Vader came to a so grinning halted in A pose once more, letting Palpatine lose the flag towards the female Ewok in front of him. Within the span of 12 nanoparsecs, a scene from Fooly Cooley played out exactly as Palpatine's cracked, aging spit-covered lips were about to collide with the Shadbad-styled E-Girl. Then, by the grace of the author, Palpatine said whiz past her and thermal nuked the Oak of Gamers behind her. Gamers, rise up! In the lighting of the forest, as if a sun had been turned on. Where did I leave off? It seared the eyes of the remaining enjoyers of interactive media who had not come out of the trees at all during the occupation of Endor due to a release of a pirated Ewok version of Yu-Gi-Oh! The Mouth Prior.
It seems we have already killed most of the Ewoks.
Vader rumbled from behind the female Ewok as he picked her up by the head and went yeet as he threw her like a diminutive teenage missile to some other part of the planet. Palpatine then stumbled out from the wreckage of the Oak like a drunk stumbles out of Arby's covered in shit and grease.
Vader, we're here, and there's still no more time to waste.
He said.
Yes, Lord Palpatine. By your wish it shall be done.
Vader said, his voice echoing like it did when he said no that one time. In tune with that exact moment, his voice rumbled with the farce, shaking the trees and causing the smelly gamer Ewoks and Orwell residents to fall like that apple who that almost assassinated Newton. Alright,
now, gather round, you little built-up bear. DMCA ignoring pieces of shit. Your overlords need your attention.
Palpatine said, as the Ewoks had no choice but to heed his command after witnessing the retard rampage of these renegades. Soon all the Ewoks in the region had gathered. With a cartoonishly evil chuckle, Vader and Palpatine approached them, camcorder, WD-40, and multi-tool in hand.
Alright, ladies and gentlemen, we've seen some of the best comedy this side of the galaxy has to offer from the comfort of their abodes. But tonight we're gonna find the one that people thought was the funniest.
Dob Agate said, as the studio lights illuminated the stage of Galaxy's funniest home videos.
Let's remind everyone who our finalists are.
He said as a clip started playing from around the galaxy. In grainy film, the screen played through scenes around the galaxy. First up was a shot of a stormtrooper falling out of his AT-ST. Next was a gonk droid waddling down a corridor, but the footage was sped up, making all the boomers laugh. Finally, it played the entire Star Wars sequel trilogy.
Okay. And the winner is Palpatine sterilizing the Ewoks.
Dobb said with grandeur as the clip started playing out on the big screen. In gratuitous detail showed Vader kneeling in front of an Ewok, making a gesture and cutting motions at the creature's belly. Palpatine giggled and laughed, but not seen as he was the one recording it.
Okay. This one says, I once went 17 minutes resisting the pull of the thug life.
The Emperor said, and Vader moved away to reveal a picture-perfect recreation trimmed and cut into the Ewok's fur of a Ben Shapiro cringe tweet, placed exactly where a tramp stamp would normally be. As Palpatine chortled and chuckled to himself, he used the camera to pan around to reveal that every Ewok in the vicinity had been cursed with a Ben Shapiro cringe tweet tramp stamp, a BS CTTS. One had even had okay, this is epic tweet on them. At least 4 Ewoks had already committed suicide. You know what that reminds me of?
What does that remind you of, Sergio?
Matt, have you seen the tweet that this guy Jack Pobosiak made, where he was like, instead of a vaccine, we should just take a little bit of a dead virus and inject it into people because that's worked for centuries.
I don't think that's how it works.
The boomers and the zoomers of the audience laughed and cringed in equal measure as Palpatine took the stage and ripped the trophy out of Dob Agate's hands.
Yes, I'd like to thank the Academy and my Death Star 2 trademark for giving me this unlimited power.
The Emperor screamed as he cast sparse lightning in the room, but instead of shocking the lights in dramatic fashion, the typo caused him to just make the room incredibly bright, ending on Finn. And so ended Palpatine's Monday.
Oh, that was great. Thank you for sharing that one.
That was very good.
This is going to have to be a shorter episode because I actually have to go eat dinner now.
Ah, alright.
Yeah. So, I hope you all enjoyed this. Merry Christmas, Happy Holidays, and here's to a good new year. Do you guys have anything to say before we wrap this up?
Don't sterilize the Ewoks with Ben Shapiro cringe tweet tramp stamps.
Yeah, don't sterilize anyone for any reason.
That's usually a bad idea.
And with that, that's the last episode of 2020 for So You Think You Can Fanon. We'll see you all next year, and we should be coming up to the 1-year anniversary of the show. So
Awesome.
yeah. So we'll see you then.